Okay, thanks everybody, and welcome to the Town of Bluff Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. We're meeting virtually. The time is 6:02 p.m. And we'll start with the roll call of Planning and Zoning Commissioners. This is Amanda Podmore, Chair.
Marcia Haydenfeld.
Malia Collins.
Ed Dobson.
Thanks everybody. And Brian Whitney has an excused absence. Town Council.
Luann Hook.
Welcome, Luann. And then welcome others as well. So we will start today with an opportunity for public comment. If anybody has a public comment, please let me know, and we can do that. Oh, Luann, go ahead.
I have a public comment if you're ready.
Yeah.
For me? Okay. My public comment, which I also said last night at our town meeting, is just a thank you to all of you for serving on planning and zoning. And it's especially apparent when 2 are leaving and only 2 apply. And I just appreciate the 2 of you reapplying and being willing to serve and do the stuff that you do. So thank you.
Thanks, Luann.
Oh, shucks, ma'am. 'Twarn't nothing.
Wonderful. Does anybody else have a public comment? Okay. Public comment section closed. Thank you, Luann. Let's go on to approval of meeting minutes from our November 6th regular meeting. So Malia's going to pull that up. Big thanks to Kathleen for doing those minutes for us. Yay.
Yay!
And for being here tonight to continue.
Yes.
That's right, Kathleen. I should have added you in my thank you because we do appreciate you a lot.
Yeah. And I didn't see any comments in there. Do folks have any comments?
I move to approve the minutes from November 6th as presented.
Second.
Second from Ed. Okay, any discussion? Right, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Minutes approved with 4 yeses. Thank you. Okay. My screen is being funky. Okay, so we'll move on to old business. I know the agenda. Old business section of the agenda. Item 1, update from Town Council. We'll pass it over to Luann.
Okay, yeah. Since the last one, when I gave you an update on November 12th, we did a work session and a regular meeting. And then yesterday, November 19th, we did a regular meeting. We did discuss the upcoming hearing and the ordinances that will be on it. I asked about the airport overlay and said that there's not time to do that one right now. Yeah, and one of the questions that I am wondering about is maybe it's appropriate to invite Melissa Riggs, who's the county planning and zoning person, to maybe come and update you all. It might be an appropriate thing so that in Bluff here we all know what's going on in the county, because I know she doesn't come to town council to update, but maybe that would be a way to find out, like, about the airport and different zoning going on. But we also talked about the building inspector. They have come up with an agreement with the county. It's not signed yet. There were some things that needed updated, but that has moved along. We talked about the dogs at large ordinance, and that's something that Ann wants to look at too later, probably after the holidays. And then horse tours are asked for a license, a business license to do horse tours around town based out of the fort. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. They called to see if there was any regulations against such a thing. So the solar panels are solid. The inverter came. The solar panels are getting moved down soon. So that's all in process. The energy development grant that Malia was working on, she got that applied for and submitted. It's for interior lighting. They did a utility analysis and whatnot to do. So hopefully hopefully the town will get that, and that will help the community center and with some of their lighting. And then the EPA grant, they're concerned because there's no spin down yet on that for the old school and the partners. So they are trying to get another partner in to work on this EPA grant, and so that the grant is not lost, and figure out, because we can't move forward with the partner that we have now. They are going to go to their supervisors to see if that substitution will work. Let's see. And then yesterday, we started off with a presentation from the workforce housing concerns in the county. It was basically a housing assessment done by the county, paid for by the county, I should say, and it was called Points, up there from Idaho, and he did a big study. We all got this little book. I was wishing that you guys, can't see it, can you?
No.
Nope. Oh, well, it's called Dwelling on the Future. They are in the office. There's an extra copy there. I was going to show you a couple of things that they pointed out. One was the housing demand and the growth. They projected that on in San Juan County, and the growth is set to go down and the housing requirements are set to go down on the graphs that they have. But there's a lot of interesting things and prices of houses and lots of graphs and stuff. And then they talked quite a bit with us. It's at the very first of the meeting. If anybody wants to go to YouTube, it's on the very first part of the meeting if you want to hear their presentation. And he had the screen, so you'll be able to see it more than mine. But they did do Talia also came down. She's the new economic developer for San Juan County, and she was also at the meeting, and she spoke some. So she and then Mick Thornton seems to be in charge of it, and then Brian Points is the guy that does Points. He's the one that did the plan. So we started with that, and then Bluff Waterworks has a hearing for rate increases on December 4th. And that will be, the hearing will be over there in their old jail, the library. And then December 3rd, there's a UDOT trail meeting up in Moab. And so I'll be going for sure, but they will give us update on the area. And it's a time when, like last year when we put forth our project, it'll be that time to everybody in the area can say what needs to happen and whatnot. So that's December 3rd, and then December 4th is Bluff Waterworks, and it is at 7 o'clock for Bluff Waterworks. Okay, questions? That's all I have for notes.
Wait, Marcia, go ahead.
Yeah, I put down a couple of things, and let me see what I wrote here. First of all, did you say that the hearing for the water increase is on the 4th of December? And isn't that our public hearing? Yeah, that's our public hearing.
Ours is at 5, theirs is at 7.
Ah, okay.
Well, it works. Okay.
That
Yeah.
We'll have to.
So that will be, yeah, that might be something to consider with our regular meeting.
We'll have to serve dinner in between or something.
Right.
Good time for a food truck to be outside the door.
Okay. Okay. So we need to get the word out there that everybody needs to save the date for. Okay. And then airport and so I wrote the words airport with county, and that is that I just wanted to update that I hope we all saw that Kristen Bushnell is working on the airport overlay stuff through the county and will send us whatever they end up writing or doing. And that just was the way that we could steal, as it were, the template of what's happening for airport overlay. And the communication was the result of me asking what happened to the airport overlay that I thought we did when I was on county commission. And it turns out that they, as we recall, Kristen said, oh yeah, you did it, but it never got approved up the line in the county. So, and there's Brian, by the way, for the record. So I just wanted to say for you, Luann, I agree with you that the county needs to keep us informed in the process because, you know, they're part of it. As far as I'm concerned, I think we can all work together to copy out some things as basic outline and then update it for our community if we have to for the airport. And then the part about Melissa joining us, yeah, Melissa would always be welcome. She, you know, I think she's doing a good job as a representative for Bluff up there at the county. Whether or not it's you know, it doesn't apply to us in town, but her checking on, I find that she does a good job of sort of checks and balances on this county planning and zoning. So yeah, that's what I wrote. Thanks.
And I don't know how much she keeps up with you guys, if she watches them or what, but it would be kind of a mutual time just to trade information, maybe, even if it was once every quarter or something. But
yeah, reach out to
yeah,
her.
And thanks
maybe
for
see
following.
Good.
Oh, I just was going to say thanks for following up on that airport overlay. That's great. Yeah, and I haven't seen anything on email, so I don't know if it has come out yet, but that's fine. It's just, that's great that it's happening.
Okay. Yeah, when that airport overlay is ready, I could see if Melissa in particular wants to present that to us or walk us through that at all. So I had a question to Luann. You said there is concern about spending of the EPA funds for the CCC. Was that a concern from EPA or from the town of Bluff?
It's from EPA, because when you put out those big grants, you've got to spend down to show that the process is in motion. And so it basically looks like nothing's happening, which is an alarm, a red flag to them.
Sure. Okay. Thanks for that clarification.
Anything else?
Yeah, quick question. I was listening to the town council meeting last night about the housing presentation, and it was so much fun to listen to. And I know that at the very end, they had a couple of resources for housing, more education, or a little bit like some different courses to take.
Malia, you are really cutting out. It's hard to hear you.
No. Okay, I may have to switch out my headphones. Well, I know that. Okay, how about now?
Try again.
So
Keep going. We don't know yet.
Okay, so I know that you mentioned the Governor's Office of Economic Development is hosting a base camp at San Juan County. No, even worse.
Maybe
that's right. So
turn off your video for a second, maybe.
Okay, well.
So I can understand her. She said there were 3 things mentioned that Talia she's sponsored it's called Base Camp in San Juan County, and everybody can come and they do a big housing thing then, and it's December 5th. She said from 9 to 4 up in Monticello somewhere. Yeah, December 5th. Yes. And then there was another resource called saveyour.town, and I didn't look it up, but that's how they described it, saveyour.town. And it sounds like that's a super great resource, and she's coming to San Juan County, this person, Deb. They were really impressed with her, and she's very vibrant and good. But I don't think she's going to that base camp. I think she'll come separately, but I'm not sure. And she'll send out the invitation to that base camp on the 5th. And then another resource that they said for looking at for planning and housing and all of that is called Strong Towns. And I don't know if that's a book. I kind of felt like it might be a book, but it's called Strong Towns. And was there anything else you were wondering about, Malia?
No, that was it. Can you guys hear me better now, or is it the same?
It's better.
A little better, yeah. It's kind of like mechanical sounding. I don't know.
Ooh. Okay, let me try some different headphones.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
The part about the headphones sounded the best.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions for Luann?
We also have at the CCC, we have the wood stack going, and there's something called Warm Natives, a program called Warm Natives, and they are going to come get the wood that has been accumulated there. Maybe you're interested in that.
Cool. That sounds good. Okay. Well, then we'll move on to item 2, kind of related, Luann. I had not yet emailed the town to finalize our schedule of meetings. Did you by chance happen to mention that we were thinking about meeting on Thursdays?
I did, and that didn't seem to be any problem to anybody.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, great.
And we're going to keep ours on Tuesday. Sounds like we're going to keep it at 4. We definitely did the same schedule of having a work session and the first one a regular meeting, then a work session, then a regular meeting. The first 3 Tuesdays we'll keep that. I think we'll discuss the time again. But anyway, we're looking at keeping it at 4.
Okay, great. Well, I will work up a list of dates, send that to folks to review via email, and then we can send that into San Juan Record. And we could probably post that on the website too. Would be good. I don't actually, yeah. I put that in my to-do list. Okay.
Sounds good. Do I sound better this time?
Yes.
Okay, different headphones. Yay.
Nice. Cool. Okay. Item 3, recommendation of planning and zoning commissioner applicants for town council. Our applicants were Marcia Haydenfeld and Ed Dobson, so I'll have you two sit back in this conversation. My suggestion for Malia, Brian, and I'm glad we have a quorum now with Brian back, is that if folks want to make a recommendation via motion for one candidate or 2 candidates, we can, whatever works. I would entertain a motion.
Okay, I'm going to start with a speech. No, I first want to start with, I'll end this with a motion, but I want to start with, I am going to recommend Marcia Haydenfeld as a planning and zoning commissioner. And for a couple of reasons, because I very much appreciate that she is so involved and that she is taking so much of her time to read through minutes and to make comments and to work with me on the RV ordinance. And I'm so glad that you're not leaving if the vote passes, because I still feel like I have so much to learn from you, and I really appreciate you applying again, because it's been a pleasure working with you. And I had something else really nice to say. ... I don't remember what it is. And also on the same note, I appreciate all that you have done for us, Ed, and I am not going to motion to recommend you for planning and zoning because I want to give you your time back. I know that life is precarious right now, and I want you to have the time to enjoy time with Nancy and to do what you need to do. And I also want to keep this space open for someone that can participate and comment and give us some more perspective. And so I motion to nominate Marcia Haydenfeld as Planning and Zoning Commissioner for the next term.
Okay, do we have a second?
Well, I'll second that. And I think I would agree with what Malia said, and I don't want to be too redundant, but I feel similarly.
Okay, yeah, I can open up for discussion. I feel similarly too, and Ed, I know you have a lot on your plate. I'd like to have somebody join the commission who has more time to participate in meetings and do some of the the work that we need to have done on the side, which is quite a time commitment. And so I side with the recommendation of Malia and Brian as well. Any other discussion from Malia and Brian? Okay, I'll call the vote to order. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion passes with three ayes. I will send that recommendation to town council. It, of course, is their decision. They'll be voting on the December 3rd meeting. I think that's the date. Yeah. But regardless of what they decide, thank you so much, both Marcia and Ed, for applying, for showing your continued commitment to this town and reapplying for a volunteer position that is very time consuming, very draining, and in which we're sometimes the center of the public's eye. So appreciate your willingness to put your hat in again and for all the time you've given up to now. So thank you. Marcia, go ahead.
Just want to say thank you very much. And Malia, thank you for saying it so kindly. I'm still here. And I would also like to thank Ed, because he's, you know, been a big part of this for a while, and it's just proven to be a lot for him, I think. So I agree with the assessment of giving him some time to himself, to his family.
Okay. Well, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to new business, land use clearance applications. So we will have a land use clearance application at our next meeting. It's about solar installation for Coral Sands RV park. So we will be circulating a packet about that, but they did not get that to us in time for this meeting, but no problem. It'll be on the next meeting. Any other land use clearance applications or questions about that?
Just a quick comment is that on both that and the sign, we'll want to make sure that payment has come through, because there wasn't a reminder on the paperwork to send payments, but I've reminded them. Both parties in the sign and the LUC have said they're submitting it. So we'll double check. You know, we should have Aaron double check that it all comes through, and catch that on the paperwork. I know Aaron and Amanda were going to work on that. But yeah, that was exactly what happened. Thanks, Amanda.
Okay, great. I will add under land use clearance items that we were approached asking if there was a land use clearance for some of the construction going on at Amanda Bouchard's house. And I don't quite know the nature of that construction. So I can't speak to whether or not a land clearance and or building permit is required, but we do ask the county regularly for lists of building permits. So I will be getting that list just anyway, so we can do more investigation into that if we need to before the next meeting. Go ahead, Marcia.
Do we know if anybody checks on these things? I mean, as neighbors, it's hard for us to walk up and go. I mean, I did it across the street when my neighbors started putting up a carport, and I walked over and I said, hey, what's going on? You know, and then I said, well, as your P&Z neighbor, does it really fit here? And Jackie showed me the measurements and it fit, and I just let it go because they seemed to be doing what they were supposed to be doing. But the problem is, and they were fine. Everything's good. The carport's there. But having said that, it's like, how do you walk up and say, what are you doing and why are you doing it? And we've seen what happens with this miscommunications. So I'm just encouraging the word enforcement that we all talk about. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
We need to figure that out, because right now there's not a formal process. It's word of mouth. It's typically one of us or a town official just following up, just like hey, just want to check in and see what's going on. So yes, enforcement comment noted. And I agree. It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I pulled up the land use clearance real quick, and remodeling in excess of 2,000 square feet is what needs a land use clearance. So it's nice to err on the side of it's a less than 2,000 square foot, but that's where it takes somebody asking, AKA our enforcement officer.
Yeah, and I know we have some exemptions for porches and stuff. So
yeah,
anyway, I know we don't know enough to say anything definitive on this call.
Totally.
So. Okay. Well, wonderful. Let's move on to item 5 then, sign application for Bluff storage units, presented by Ivy on behalf of Mr. Hoyt. So Emily is going to show that.
So if I could, Ivy is Hoyt's daughter up in the Northwest. I was just at their house in Oregon, and it's beautiful, and the land they live on is fabulous. Anyway, Ivy is submitting this for her dad being the new storage center in town that he finally seems to have completed. And the story here is, guess what? It's already up. The sign is already in place. So we may have something that fits or doesn't fit or whatever, but we have the same problem of after the fact. So I think we should discuss this on 2 levels. And one is, does it fit and do we approve of what it's doing? And then decide how we go about approving or denying based on that. That's my comment.
I love it.
Yeah, and this points to just a broader need for clarification from our attorney about, because the first issue we had was a land use clearance done proactively or retroactively in the now sign permit. So I will send another email so we can work on addressing that. But that's separate to actually looking at this sign permit. So let's focus on that first.
It is. Reviewing the, I'll get started. So reviewing the sign size, and I looked up the zone, and so they are in residential. And I went to our handy dandy tables and our sign ordinance. And so in the residential, the max size per sign in square feet is 12 square feet. I ran the math on this one. It is 10 square feet. So it does work. Moving down to our types of signs, table B, building mounted, max size, C sign table A. And so the only question I have essentially is, how many feet is it from the ground? Our max height from the ground is 8 feet for residential. But I'm not sure how much that would really apply to building mounted.
Did we miss
residential? Commercial.
For residential, it's 8 feet. I'll present that. I have it. I have it open as well because I'm referencing it.
Oh, do you mean you think his land is commercial? Is that what
his
you mean?
land is residential?
Yeah,
it is. I was just confused maybe as to where this property is.
It's right behind the restaurant. It's
right behind the turquoise.
It's behind the garage, actually. You know, if you're standing in front of the Canyon Smokehouse and Bluff Foundation garage, then the backyard is their backyard and the next property is Hoyt's. So you're on 3rd Street headed to the senior center when you take a left into his driveway.
So is it the northmost parcel on that lot?
No, it's the south, isn't it? It's the entrance is on the south part of the lot, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's back to the west. Yeah, let's pull the map up.
I have a storage unit there, so I don't know if that makes this a conflict of interest or not, but
okay. There we go. Okay. So go to 3rd. There we go. Go to where
it is right here. Can you guys see my mouse?
No, it's not there.
Bummer.
It's here. It's the
wow.
Go do that again because we're losing it. Okay. Now here it is. When you turn on, can you make it a little bigger? A little bit bigger. No. Okay. If you turn on 3rd. Oh, it's C2.
I thought it was C2.
Yeah, which I was wondering that. It's that blue lot, right?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to clarify.
Oh.
Yeah, so then it's 20 feet from the ground.
Yeah.
According to this amazing chart.
Amazing chart.
Yay for tables.
It's so easy. I guess sorry, it's a table.
Yeah, get it right.
It's right there. It's that little blue lot because
Perfect.
The purple in front is restaurant and 2 lots for the garage.
Cool.
And
All
then
right.
residential surrounds him. Oh, I think that's what happened when we were zoning. I wasn't zoning when you guys were zoning originally, was that because he already had county permits to have his little storage unit thing going there, I think they left it commercial to allow it to happen without, and then he just built it over a few years is what happened.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, that changes the only thing it changes is the measurements, but the measurements I thought were fine anyway. And I love your chart, but
yeah, because I also reviewed the sign in compliance with the sign ordinance. I didn't see any issues.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
seems
motion
like-
to approve the signed ordinance.
Wait.
Oh gosh, you're right. We're not motioning yet. Sorry, getting a little ahead of myself.
Yeah. No. I mean, so as we did in the one before, okay, where we had something given to us after the fact, we need to look at this to say, question number 1 is, yes, the work is correct, that the sign is correct. 2, how do we approve something too late? Now, Ivy's not here to tell us the timing. She had said, I don't know if you noticed an email from her explaining that to pick her daughter up at school and get home in time for the meeting was pushing it. So hopefully we'll see her come on the meeting shortly. But until she does, we just need to discuss what we think we're going to do. And if you recall, what we did for the other one was we said, pending approval from attorney, we would, hold the approval. Amanda, do you have a take on where Chris was with how we do this to continue?
Without pulling up the email, it was like if the application is correct, we can still approve it, but that we need to address this long term with an ordinance change or something. So if we approve it, I would suggest we write on the application received after the sign was put up, but the sign was found to be in compliance, and then we would not issue the permit until we're sure the payment has come through. So if that works with everybody, that's what I would recommend.
Okay. Well, let's do it this. What I'm thinking is of making a motion to that effect, but then if we could have a couple minutes discussion of what we'd like to do about this, because we shouldn't have to face this too many more times. So I would make a motion to approve the sign permit request based on it, approve it based on payment received and noting its untimely application or after the fact application. Sorry.
I'll second that.
Did you know what I was
wait. I had it sounded like we were going to approve it based on payment, but have it be noted that it was received after the sign had been installed. That's what I took it as meaning.
Good. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for saying it the way I tried to
say. Yeah. And I agreed with that. And so I think that's, again, I think it's just a question of until there's, not to bring up the big E word again, but until there is enforcement, I unfortunately think, I don't see a way of preventing it other than pleading to people until there is enforcement. But I appreciate that they're in compliance with the rules, though. At least I will say that it's not an out of compliance application.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. If we can have further discussion, I would add that oh no, all good. Just want to be clear. I can also, I know that the attorney is busy this week. I can potentially reach out to some towns and do some research as to what Blanding and Moab and Monticello do in this instance. so we can get some clarification as to like how we can remedy this and prevent this from happening in the future. So I'll commit to that. It may not be immediate, but I'll work on that.
If
Marcia?
I could, yeah, I picture something like an overreaching ordinance or law, actually, you know, that says any and all ordinances for the town of Bluff must be met. For planning and zoning must be met before any action can be taken. And I don't know how. I sort of thought you said. I mean, here we're talking about remedies of things that Malia is showing us on the screen, but that seems to be for things where you walk up and you go, "Here's what's wrong." If you walk up to the sign right now, you go, "That's a really nice sign. It fits." Okay. And then you say, "But did you get a permit for it?" Well, they're making remedy of the situation by getting their permit for it, but they were supposed to get a permit before they put it up. So this is where I think we're going to have this, this problem. But yes, Amanda, I really would appreciate some ideas of how you make this work. So all I did was mumble, sorry.
We do have a, if Malia scrolls down, we do have in our remedy section, a civil penalty can be imposed. So if we were to find that the sign was non-compliant and we did not issue the sign permit, then the town could pursue this avenue potentially. Or
does that mean since you didn't get a permit, it's $100 a week for the weeks you've had it up and didn't have a permit? Does it mean that? And I'm not saying yes or no, and I certainly don't want to, we're not going to pull the rug out from someone when we don't have the rules in place. But if you read that, it could go either way. The remedy of a permit came a couple of weeks into the sign. So,
yeah. Okay.
Well, we have a motion on the table, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any more discussion?
I like the idea of asking the towns, and that might also be something that Melissa Riggs or someone from the county can advise us on how they've handled it as well.
Okay, good idea. Okay, well, I will call the motion to order, and all in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstentions? Ed, I didn't hear from you, Ed. What was your vote?
Oh, I'm sorry. I voted aye, and I also raised my hand. I guess you didn't hear or see.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the screen, not the faces. Okay, sorry about that. So the motion passes unanimously, 5 ayes. Thank you, everybody. If Ivy does not join this call, I will be sure to email her tomorrow morning and let her know the latest. Okay, great. Then let's move on to the next item on our agenda, which is items for next agenda. Next agenda will be after our public hearing. We will have a land use clearance on there. Anything else folks would like to see on that agenda?
Won't we have considered comments we've heard, but is there a 10-day period for written comments from the 4th?
There's not, no. So we could go ahead and pass the final drafts if we're ready to.
Okay, maybe we should look at that.
I can put that on the agenda. I think, assuming the subdivision ordinance doesn't have too many edits, it would be important for us to consider passing it sometime in the month of December so that we're in compliance with the state regulations. I have a feeling that RB ordinance, we might not be ready to finalize it that day, but we can put both on the agenda.
With the 4th being such a busy day between our public hearing from 5 to 6, and it could potentially run longer, and then the waterworks hearing starting at 7, would it be wise of us to schedule a shorter meeting to ensure that people can also attend waterworks, or put just a couple of things on the agenda, just have the land use clearance and potentially approving those?
Sure. How about I put an end time on the agenda of like 6:55 or something so that folks can get over there?
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to be hard to make it a short agenda because we might be discussing the ordinances, but
Yeah, totally. Or if it would be worth just like scheduling a special meeting for that following week or the next couple of days after that.
yeah, we may need that.
Yeah.
We can see. But we do have another meeting in December too, so.
Yeah.
Okay, and I can put any enforcement updates on that agenda. Just, sorry, I'm typing. I know it's loud. Okay. Anything else?
Finalizing our schedule of meetings for 2025.
That should be, I should just do that via email before then, hopefully.
Oh,
But,
cool. Okay.
yeah.
I don't think so. Sounds good.
Great. Alrighty. Item 7, any other for us to address this evening? I will say that I did update the sign application and use clearance application on our website to add that there's a fee involved. And those are live on our website.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second, Marcia. Okay, all in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned at 6:44 p.m. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a nice day.
I need to get the word out that some